Hello and welcome to the interview here on France 24. My guest today is Dolkun Isa. He is the president of the World Uyghur Congress, which is based in Munich, where he joins us from. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Hi, thank you. Good morning, sir.
So your NGO is representing this Muslim minority, the Uyghurs, living in the far west of China, a region known as Xinjiang. Beginning in April 2017, Uyghurs accused of harboring politically incorrect ideas have been jailed in so-called re-education camp. The number has reached over 1 million persons, according to the United Nations. China initially denied those camps existed, but confronted with reports from human rights groups and criticism from the West, it acknowledged their existence and stressed, however, that this was done to fight terrorism and provide training for Uyghurs. Mr. Isa, a very simple question. What is happening in Xinjiang right now?
Well, as you said, in the beginning of April or March 2017, Chinese government implemented new system is so-called eradication camp. Actually, it is the 21st century concentration camp. It is saying, and from 1 to 3 million people are suffering this camp. No, it is mean Chinese government. We can simply saying Chinese government has implemented towards the Uyghur ethnic cleansing policy today. Today is 21st century. Communication is very developed, but unfortunately, I can say 99% of the Uyghur who living in exile in French, Europe, around the world have lost contact with a family member. I personally also lost telephone communication, my family, and more than 20 months ago. It's middle of April 2017. So today is, as I say, Chinese government and has attacked Uyghur identity and implemented all and eradication all the Uyghur identity. And today's Uyghurs' basic right includes the political, cultural, economic, social, and religious right has been continually violated by the Chinese Communist Party.
Mr. Isa, you used a very loaded word. You used concentration camp. What exactly is happening in those camps? Because when you talk about concentration camp, people think about Nazi Germany and what happened during World War II. I mean, would you compare it really? What exactly is happening in those camps?
Well, it is a good question. Unfortunately, it is very, very difficult to get information from what is going on in the camp. But not only the inside the camp, even, as I say, it is 21st century, but what is going on outside the camp in the Turkestan, it is the big question. We got very little information, but however, recently a couple of witnesses and a couple of Uyghurs or Kazakh who spent a couple of months stay in the camp already and managed to escape those of exile and speak out what's going on in the camp. Today in the camp, you know, people and face to physical and mental torture, psychological torture, physical tortures, even some suicide was happening, and we know at least Radio Free Asia, Washington base, confirmed more than 36 cases confirmed to already died in the camp. One of them, my mother's. My mother was 78 years old lady and a retired woman. She was put in camp nearly 1 year ago, but she was passed away, died in the camp 17th of May this year, but I could hear this news nearly 1 month later, 24 days later, June 12th, I only got this information. So it is just an example, but actually, how many people already died, how many people already were killed in the camp, what is the situation? We got very, very little information. But one thing is very clear, they are in the brainwashing and this false express royalty to the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping, indoctrination. This is the going on in the camps.
Right. Would you say that China is at war with its Muslim community? Obviously, the Uyghur is a Muslim community. They accuse you of being terrorists. You personally are still considered a terrorist by China.
Well, you're right. So, I was a students leader in the 1980s in East Turkestan, in so-called Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. I was a student at that time. I hold a demonstration against the discrimination policy towards the Uyghur by the Chinese government. That's why I was house arrested. I was kicked also from the university. Then I managed to and escape to the Germany and sought political asylum. But China's claim I'm the number 3 top terrorist of the Chinese list. But I'm saying, unfortunately, I have never seen in the real bomb. I have never touched the real gun in my life. But China saying I'm the top terrorist. So it doesn't mean China, because we are Muslim, that's why China just use this element and they just trying to legalize and the Chinese government and cracked on the Uyghurs. Because today is a Western country, unfortunately, Muslim and Islam and terrorists sometimes put the same category. That's why China misused this Muslim element of the Uyghurs, then cracked on the Uyghur. Today, if you write an article, or you make a peaceful demonstration, or really doing some violence, Chinese government immediately concentrate and put the same category. This is terrorist activities. So actually, Uyghur people in the very peaceful people, Uyghur people, they demand and it is a right. Is a political right, economic right, cultural right, and basically Uyghur people, East Turkestan people need the freedom. Because this East Turkestan, we call it East Turkestan, but China says Xinjiang, it is colonial name, We never accept this name as well today. And so the Chinese government, that's why, and cracked down Uyghur people very harshly, and implemented the ethnic cleansing policy today.
Okay, I want to get to the reaction of Western countries. Some of them have called on China to shut down the camps. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, has asked China to allow on-the-ground inspection of the facilities. What do you make of the reaction from the West to the revelations of the existence of those camps?
Well, it is today's what's going on in Turkestan. It is really a tragedy for the 21st century. It is a shame for the 21st century, because after Second World War, world leader gathering and the promise never again. But it was happening again in Turkestan. So and no, it is yes, it is a good point. Recently, and so international start and the international reaction. Actually, this camp issue was started April 2017, but until for the couple of months, until August 2018, really ignored whole world to the situation. But after third committee, UN committee elimination all called racial discrimination committee reviews the Chinese report, then and this issue really coming up to the international attention. So United Nations is November 6 UPR review of the Chinese report, and more than 14 countries really rise up this issue, camp issue, and ask the Chinese government to close down, shut up down these camps, and more than 24 countries speak out the Uyghur human rights issue during the section. And the European Union, European Parliament passed the original resolution October 4th on this camp and the other Uyghur human rights issue as well. And today, and the U.S. Congress, U.S. Senate also discussing a lot on these camps, and even Vice President of the Pence also speaking out a couple of times, and the Foreign Ministry Pompeo
but not Donald Trump.
A lot of time on this issue today. Really, not Donald Trump. Yes, we hope, we wish Donald Trump should be speak out. This it will be more influential. But however, and it is a good step. A lot of country, particularly Western country, United Nations and some other international organization, really speak up on this issue. But it is not good enough. So just because we are talking about from couple of millions people, some and the people, some international institutions saying this number already up to 3 million.
Right.
However, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million is, we are talking about millions of people's the right suffering. So that's why just speaking of concerning the issue not good enough.
Last question. What about the Muslim world? We haven't heard much from them. We even saw Egypt send some Uyghurs to China. Are you disappointed?
Well, it is the big shame of the Muslim world because we are Muslim as world, but unfortunately until today, Muslim world and particularly Muslim government really is ignored and silent. Just Malaysia and all is the country and talking about this rise issue recently, but most of them Muslim country really silent, even support the Chinese government policy. But some NGOs, some Muslim community around the world really and recently in the wake up doing some action against the Chinese government and shut down the camps. But and we really it is, as I said, it's really shame. And most of some Muslim country just silent. Even as you said, Egypt 2017 cooperate with the Chinese government, arrested couple of hundred Uyghur students, and some of them already deported to China. More than 500-600 Uyghur students escaped to Turkey. Some of them escaped to the European countries seeking political asylum. So it is a really shame situation. So today, a couple of neighboring countries, some Muslim countries, also Uyghur refugees sent back to the China, and they are persecuted and also death sentence. Well, it is a really sad and very disappointed situation now.
Dolkun Isa, thank you very much for your account of what is happening in this region of China. And thank you very much for watching this interview here on France 24.